Okay. My name is Camilo Eliseo Melendez. It's my full name. People call me Cheo. This isn't the real start, but it's one of the moments. It was shortly after this DVD came out. And the DVD is called Pixar Shorts Collection Volume 1. 2007. I received this as a gift from my parents because I like Pixar films. I had seen, like every other child, seen Toy Story and seen Bug's Life and seen Finding Nemo. But on this DVD, there's a documentary called The Pixar Shorts, A Short History. And there's a scene that I will never forget as long as I live. It's burned into my skull on some licorice pizza metaverse, it's in my dreams type of shit. And this fucking scene is John Lasseter, and he's walking into the Pixar office, which is in some fucking strip mall in fucking Anaheim. It just looks like a fucking dentist office. And he's walking up to the office, and I forget who's holding the camera.
How come your car has the best parking spot?
Because it hasn't moved in about 3 days. I've been sleeping here.
In the car?
No, in my office.
How long did it take you to animate the sequence we just saw?
That was about 5 days. That was a little long.
5 days? How many hours a day were you working?
Oh, just a couple.
And when I saw that, I was like, that is what I want to do. I want to fucking work on something like that. Enter me moving from being a little kid with no responsibilities to having the social order of the world imposed on me, right? I go to school, horrible student. Fuck authority. That was like, right away, man. It was like, be creative, yes. And then people telling me what to do, absolutely not. The resentment of having to do something that someone else wanted me to do started there. Start a revolution and change the shit for good. That was like the coolest thing I could think of back in high school. Learning about the country and working people and the underclass and the underprivileged and the outcasts for sure. But that's always been more interesting to me. Alright, but I started to hate people and it all seemed fake to me and just a fucker, just a trying to stick it to the man but never taking any real risks. As far as rap music goes, the only exposure I really had to it was in elementary school. Kids around me knew about music that I didn't. Chameleonaire, Jibs, Chain Hang Low, Black Eyed Peas. Man, Akon was such a big deal back then. Soulja Boy. I remember being in a jungle gym. There was a kid there, and he was above me. I didn't know who Slim Shady was, and I didn't know who Eminem was, and he was explaining to me that like Eminem is Slim Shady, but also Eminem is Marshall Mathers. At the end of high school, I get a job, and I'm working with this dude, and he gave me his CD binder, and I got the DNA for like my whole style from this fucking binder full of CDs. Snoop Dogg, it was the Dog Father, it was Dog Pound, Erykah Badu, Mama's Gone, every Tribe Called Quest record. Outkast, Aquemini, AT Busta Rhymes, Method Man and Redman, Blackout, Bahamadia, Fugees, The Roots. And that's where I realized that I could make music, that I didn't need to learn how to play instruments to make music. I don't know why there's gotta be weed in the video. I just felt I should be honest. I was doing a bunch of different drugs at this time. Not all of them had positive effects on me. I think that there are drugs that are anesthetics, that distract us, and then I think there are drugs that awaken us. Psychedelic drug experiences, right? Obviously, in those experiences, I had revelations that came to me that were fundamental things like people make music to make other people feel good. Music is a transfer of energy. And then building and creativity and ideas for records, all those came out of mushrooms, experiences, and LSD and shit. It's like, yo, this is it. We're young. Let's do it. Like, let's try it. Let's get good at something. Let's do something hip. Let's do something fucking awesome. And then a lot of disconnect in the rest of the world of what the hell, why am I working this job? And why am I fucking broke as fucking lonely as hell with all this shit I got going for me? And then I go and I take this ketamine. Whatever, you do a little bit and things get wonky and it's fine. But one time I did way too much, and I was on the floor and eyes open and I see the bathroom, but what I'm experiencing is not me in the bathroom, it's everything, everywhere, all at once. It's experiences that are real and are happening to other people and have happened that I've never experienced and it's impossible for me to know about, but when I was on that ketamine, I saw them. There's no fucking possible way I could ever explain it to you. And that was like the most powerful drug experience I ever had. And it was like, whoo, if that makes any sense. I knew after that ketamine experience how many good things I had in my life that I had taken for granted before, including my art, including my skill, including my mind, including my life, including my friends, my family, all of those things. That ketamine experience was really the beginning of my spiritual awakening / mental breakdown. Started to listen to music compulsively because it was the only thing that helped me feel better. Just learned a shit ton about music along the way. Just learned about all these great artists, listened to these great records just over and over again, and got some comfort out of it, but it wasn't solving my problem. It wasn't giving me direction, and it wasn't making my life much easier. It was kind of making my life harder because I was getting all these abstract feelings and ideas from this thing that I couldn't explain to people, and that didn't really make perfect sense when you brought them out of the music, out of the art, out of the realm of ideas and into the real world. I start going to the Guild Cinema in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and this was like my film school and my church and everything all rolled into one, because I would go to this place and see every single movie they played every day. I would be there, I would watch 3 movies a day, but every time I went, I learned something. Every time I went, I saw something that I remember forever, and it affected me, and it was benefiting me in an irrational way, in a way that I can't explain. It was helping my soul grow. It was giving me depth.
Practicing an art, no matter how well or badly, is a way to make your soul grow, for heaven's sake.
And suddenly there's these signs that appear that start pointing me back to my craft in a more dedicated way. I was having trouble embracing art as my path because...
Why endure the pain of making something from nothing?
And there were times where I almost quit. During that time, what I realized about artists that I couldn't see before, artists are integral to the process of life, because artists are the people who first articulate the unknown. That's what our job is. Artists are the eyes of the world. We are the eyes, ears, senses of the human race. And that process is an act of service. And after I realized that I could dedicate myself to art and dedicate myself to a life of service at the same time, I never felt guilty about trying to be an artist again. I had gotten into a lot of other things that turned me on to the idea of God, Steve-O's sobriety.
The theory that I came up with was the soul, so to speak, is like a radio wave kind of a deal. The body is essentially like a radio that picks up. I think that the flaw in our view of the human brain is that the human brain, the human body, is a generator of consciousness. Yeah. I don't see it that way. I see the human body, the brain, as a receiver of the signal, which is out there for you. You could take a radio that's like dialed in to like a certain station, and you can take a sledgehammer to it. You can smash it, you can you can destroy it, destroy that body till into oblivion. But you have done nothing to interrupt or kill the signal. You can shoot yourself in the head. All you're doing is killing the radio. You're not fucking with the signal, man. And the signal is forever, dude.
And then I start hearing about these stories about DMT. At DMT, you can encounter beings, and the beings are not just aware, but they know you. I went to the Guild Cinema one day to see a movie I'd never heard of, which was called Becoming Nobody. And it was the documentary about Ram Dass, formerly Richard Alpert. In the span of 90 minutes, his words helped me get past some of the biggest fears that I had at the time, which were my fear of death, my fear of sickness, pain, my fear of losing my loved ones. I was talking to my friend, he gave me Be Here Now. And this book was the link from my drug experiences, which at the time was the biggest source of connection that I had to the world. And then meditation, prayer, reverence. So I take a bunch of mushrooms, my rotten heart, my bleeding, fucking hurt, broken heart. Felt like it was going to overpower me. And I was like, I cannot allow that to happen. I took it and I let it go. And you know what? I'm here because I got through all that shit. And that was when the love in my heart won the battle. It's pouring rains and we all get in the car. I need to write in my journal because I'm having such a powerful experience. So I know that I left my pen outside. So I have to open the door and get outside and people are getting wet. And I reach in my pocket and the pen's in my pocket. And I just looked in the sky and I said, God is real. God is real. I read this book by Walter Isaacson called The Innovators, and it's about the digital revolution. It's about the advent of computers and the internet and all of these miraculous, unplanned, just like coincidences that led us to this place where we have basically free internet information and this unbelievable paradigm changing technology. And what I realized when I read that book is that our technology is an extension of ourselves. We are in a symbiotic relationship with our technology. When we create technology to solve a problem, it creates more problems, and then we solve those problems as well. And to solve those problems, we create a tool, we create an idea, we create a piece of art, we create a piece of technology. So Walter Isaacson, his books and this book promote this idea that art and science are the same. After I read that book, all the doubts that I had about technology, all the problems about the age that we live in, stopped being problems. They turned into opportunities. I was like, let's go. I want all the smoke.
No, we must all awaken. This is what I've learned from it. I feel like I'm lucky to have had the journey that I had in terms of being a smackhead and a crackhead, because those things are extreme enough to warrant intervention. At some point, you have to stop it. Yeah. But I think what we're dealing with now are cultural modalities that keep us all sort of loosely numbed and distracted. Yeah. Part of my recovery is I have to, and it's wise that I
help others, right?
Help the others. Oh, God, isn't it exhausting? Others. You're not even them. You're not actually me.
This is after I've realized all the connections between all these things that I used to see as disparate and at odds with each other, and now they complement each other. And now they are in service of the awakening, and the awakening is the elevation of the consciousness, the collective consciousness. David Lynch talks about this. We are all connected to infinitely deep consciousness, but we are only aware of the surface level. His films are a communication of the subconscious. His films and great art in general, it pulls things from the subconscious and it allows us to tap into that infinite awareness and consciousness that we are all connected to at all times. That's what great art does. That art that fucks your shit up, art that fucking commands your attention, art that viscerally affects you. those things raise the awareness and they lift the consciousness. That's the purpose of dopeness, is awareness. Because you can't deny dopeness. You can't ignore dopeness. And the beautiful part is that it all started with that seed of creativity, that Pixar documentary.
Art challenges technology, and technology inspires the art. You know, and that's it in a nutshell, the way we work at Pixar.
The only faith you can have is to trust in the universe, is to be familiar with the unfamiliar. And that's where we're at right now in this moment. You and me, whoever you are watching this, we're all here in this moment together. That shit is rare. That shit means a lot. It affects the world. Everyone in this room has an unlimited potential that they cannot see. And the truth is, man,
we're definitely in a dark time. You know, it seems like there's people who are desperate to hold on to the control that they have, knowing that it's inevitably gonna be lost to them. The age group from 18 to 40 years old in America right now outnumbers everybody 40 and above. So in a voting democratic society like ours, it no longer matters what anybody 40 and above wants or believes in. The kids run it straight up.
It's time to take risks and do backflips and fucking fuck shit up. That's the energy I feel anytime I put the Wu-Tang Clan on. Let's defy the people that tell us we can't fucking do it. Let's make something that brings people together, that fucking activates. Anyways, you get the idea. So that's why I'm here. That's why I made this video. That's why I wanted you to see this. You sitting right fucking there.
Pick up the phone, bitch. I know you in there. You fucking with that old funky ass
You.
face now, bitch.
I want you, Uncle Sam. More like Uncle Samuel, bitch.
Hey, today must be my lucky day. I turned the corner, hit the block, and seen that ass from a mile away. Now where she stay? She must be new in the hood, but I ain't tripping on that shit 'cause it's all good. I rolled up on her and I asked her name. Ain't a damn thing changed, ain't no shame in my game. She said, promise. Used to go to Thomas. I slowed my rope, 'cause she just might be one of my homies' baby's mamas. Now where your man? And she said, gave me the look. I cracked a smile and thinking, come flirt. My homies' women ain't no thing.